Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow, straight from the barrio. And coming with that heat from the damn street. This is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well. Now today we see a lot of things going on, you know what I'm saying? As we coming with that boom bit to that lying ass lips. You know what I'm saying? So today we gonna come in with a new joint, see what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? In the grizzly. So today we see this is PBNN, Point Black, National News. Like I said, and it is a great edition. Not always agreeable conditions. And that's the way it's gonna go. Now today we see a new poll shows nearly half of independent voters and some Republicans want Donald Trump to end the presidential elections. We see the Morningside consultant poll from Friday said that 49% of independents and 15% of independent voters and 15% of Republican voters want Trump to end the 2024 bid after his felony convictions. However, just 8% of Trump supporters said they want his campaign to end. Their poll also demonstrated 54% of voters approve of the historic conviction. I don't approve of it at all. I don't approve of it one bit. Because the convictions in which you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, talking about on Thursday, a Manhattan jury, you know what I'm saying, found Trump guilty of 34 counts of felony business records as part of an election conspiracy that involved involved covering up a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Whose story of an affair threatened to derail his 2016 presidential election. That don't make any damn sense. You know what I'm saying? Many presidents probably did the same thing. And 34 counts of the felony charges is an overwhelming amount of counts for that particular charge, if that's what we're talking about. There's no reason why 130,000 payments to an adult star that he was having an affair with will link up to 34 counts of falsifying business records, because many officials and many political people have done even worse. You know what I'm saying? You acting like it, and then why would people want him to stop his campaign? If I was Donald Trump, I would ride the horse, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? It ain't made no sense for him to quit the election due to what we call political criminality, based on them going after Donald Trump to say that he was a criminal and this, that, and the third, and using that particular charge is completely bogus and bullshit in itself. But it said Trump's sentencing is on 11 July, just days before the Republican convention, where he will be named the official GOP presidential candidate. Of course, he should be. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where they don't see it historic, is historic to me. You know what I mean? But the same poll indicate half of the voters oppose a prison sentence. There should be no prison sentence for no stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There should be none at all. And the judge, to me, that's on the board or whatever he calls it as a judge doing, it doesn't seem very quite legal, or I would say per se legal, based on anything to do with any kind of sentencing, especially for only 130,000. You know what I'm saying? To link that to falsifying records on a 34 count would not pose a conviction of any kind of prison sentence other than a fine. You know what I'm saying? Other than a fine. Because that fine would cover the 130,000 he took in surcharge and so on and so on. And then that'll be the end of that in itself when it comes to Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Even with E. Jean Carroll, a lot of evidence and a lot of stuff didn't really show much to the people other than the people that were reporting it. But we see presidential so-called wannabe Brokeback Bitch Biden condemned, you say, commend on a conviction on Friday. Yeah, of course, because you down with the scheme and the bullshit. But nobody's looking at the Demon Democrats and what they have done. Notice that. Yes, as we see, focusing on a president, a person that was running for office in 2016 that wasn't the president yet. So the conviction based on him having an affair would be on his part. That's his problem that he would have to deal with, I guess, at home. But using the campaign money should be a repayment in full, you know what I'm saying, and a fine, not rendering any type of prison sentence. So we know this is a political witch hunt. It's still the same thing. It doesn't come out to any other situation than that. And as far as I see, Donald Trump should stay in the race. You know what I'm saying? We hear retired U.S. general responds to Ukraine soldiers who say U.S. issued tanks and stuff like that. Well, yeah, of course, because they're exacerbating the war. They're pushing it on. You know what I'm saying? Rather than coming to a ceasefire, they're maintaining and orchestrating it to keep going in the way it's going. Issued tanks, I guess he's saying the Ukraine retired general said Ukraine soldiers who say U.S. issued tanks are, well, underperforming. You say underperforming, as we see. They pushing on with this war all the time. You know what I mean? That's what we see. You know what I mean? And it probably is underperforming. You know what I mean? Probably is underperforming. But we see many of these things are in the same category of the bullshit. That war should not be going on in no form, especially when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. You know what I mean? There should not have been a war there at all. But this is what took place, and this was orchestrated and set up. There is no way for it to have come to this situation at this time that Ukraine and Russia would be at war during election time, especially. Same thing we see on the attack that they say was an attack, which I don't believe it was an attack. I believe it was a setup, you know what I'm saying, and blaming Hamas or Hamas doing some stupid shit. We don't know. But in any way, it still come up to the same thing. That notice it happened again around election time. This is what people didn't realize. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out around election time. So we have to definitely look at that. You know what I mean? Because we notice that situation seems to be, not changing its course. And that's a dangerous path for it to be in. You know what I mean? And American people should be standing up against these endless wars that they keep on pushing. You know what I'm saying? And they continue to do so. We see Biden is expected to sign an executive action Tuesday that would temporarily, you know what I'm saying, that would temporarily hold on 1 second, people. Seems like he's temporarily saying, let's see. It's saying he's temporarily shutting down from what we're seeing in this matter. Yeah. Let's see here. I think we got it. We see Biden expected to sign the executive action Tuesday that would temporarily shut down borders when numbers surge. But that's still not solving the problem. Still come out to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The numbers going to always be surging because of the type of corruption in which they are running. So we know full well that many of these things are still cooking up. You have a border problem, you have Ukraine, and you have the Gaza Strip. And you have a war somewhere else and a war somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Pumping all the American people money is going to other people, but not the American people. So in essence, they're not feeling the wealth of what they potentially should be, because they have been put into a situation where you have forced upon them a strain to say share. And at the same time, that share is enough, but not for an overwhelming amount of population to come in, because that would simply push out people. And the demon Democrats, that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? We see Creep Joe Biden, Brokeback Bitch, is expected to sign the executive action Tuesday that would temporarily shut down the southern border when daily migrant crossing between legal ports of entry exceeded 2,500, with a border reopening when the number falls below 1,500. According to the people familiar with the decision, you know what I'm saying, with the people that I've met that are familiar with the discussion, you know what I'm saying, the White House has convoyed this threshold to lawmakers. Two of the sources said, but stress some details were being finalized. Yeah, okay. And we're gonna be finalized, all right, because that's what y'all expected to do. You know what I'm saying? We see here. We see fact check. Keenan, I guess his name is Keenan Reeve or whatever, called Robert De Niro a grade A jackass and said, I won't work with him. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. I consider him a jackass too myself. We see Zelensky, you know what I'm saying, in the Philippines to promote peace summit. Peace summit? What the? Zelensky, Ukraine nutcase, is in the Philippines to promote peace summit. He say China and Russia are trying to undermine. You know what I'm saying? This is coming out of the Independent, coming out of man Jim Gomez. One there go. You know what I'm saying? No, Eastern Standard Time. You know what I mean? But when we look at this one, We see the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky, more like another case, Zelensky, was in the Philippines to promote Monday in a rare Asian trip to urge regional leaders to attend the Swiss-organized Global Peace Summit on the war of Ukraine. And the tables are turning on the chessboard. You know what I'm saying? That he accused Russia and China of helping to try to undermine. No, I see it the other way around. And you ran over there very quickly to bring that point out front, haven't you? You know what I'm saying? But I see it the other way around. I see that you treat Joe Biden and the rest of your demon, blood clot, sucking demon Democrats along with the deep state, we ain't got to call all the names, you know what I'm saying, has concocted a world shift plan, you know what I'm saying, in many ways. And at the same time, Zelensky is calling for peace when you over there talking about joining NATO so those 34 countries could put nuclear weapons in Ukraine because you would call it your own little city and go on the line based on all the different places that you control, suppose. You know what I mean? In Russia backyard. That doesn't make any sense. So who's asked to debate what? And why in the world would you be, Mr. Zelensky, arrived, you know what I'm saying, I guess unannounced. Yeah, unannounced. Yeah, he making a quick political gesture move, unannounced, and calculated plan as well. And Zelensky arrived unannounced under heavy security in Manila late Sunday after speaking over the weekend at the Shanghai La Defense Forum in Singapore. Now, people, don't that seem kind of suspicious in many ways that he would run over there unannounced into Shanghai and Singapore and shit and talking about peace? You know what I'm saying? The people of Singapore and Shanghai should not pay him any mind because he's just playing the fiddle, you know what I'm saying, of the Pied Piper. He had planned, but failed to meet with Philippine President, I guess, Ferdinand, Marcos Jr. And his parents wasn't the greatest of all, but I see he refused this meeting. No offense, but there was a lot of controversy between the parents on the sideline. Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on the sideline of the annual defense gathering and decided to fly here to personally invite Marcos to attend the summit in Switzerland. Two Philippine officials told the Associated Press. You know what I'm saying? This is Zelensky making a run for the border. As we see. So we see he runs over after the foolishness he doing, and he runs over to the Philippines to convince these people to come to some kind of peace summit. What peace summit is he talking about? Is what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? They told the Associated Press the official spoke on conditions of immunity or something, some bullshit, because the lack of authority to discuss details of Zelensky's secretive trip to Manila. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like he's up to the same old bullshit and nothing have changed. You know what I'm saying? Nothing have changed. You know? In more ways than one, we still Bill McCurr. You know what I'm saying? We're just doing the daily roundup, as we call it. You know what I'm saying? as we crown up. Hey, but we see, Bill McClure, he always insulting. You know what I'm saying? I see Bill McClure gets pissed when Chris Wallace confronts him over shock terror comment that got him canceled. Yeah, Bill McClure, he always do some shit. You know what I'm saying? We see Disney new development deal with DeSantis could prove a way for a Disney World. Okay. You know what I mean? We see another black man got killed in the situation. Murder charges dropped for the trooper who shot to death a black man. And we continue to see this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially around the election time, we begin to hear a lot of this going on, and even before. And we know it's due to a lot of the bullshit. We know it's due to a lot of the bullshit. You know what I mean? That's all we see. We see Mexico awaits result elections, likely to choose its first female president, but that's good to hear. That's real good to hear. You know what I mean? If they're choosing the first female president, maybe we will get some results out of that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We see Biden shutting down the border. We see Biden rips conviction felonies. Trump said something snapped in him. You know what I'm saying? We see Trump call for Supreme Court to intervene in this matter. As we see Trump call on the Supreme Court to intervene in the hush money cases. We see the President of the United States call for the U.S. Supreme Court on Sunday to intervene after he was found guilty. And he should not have been found. If he was found guilty, it wouldn't have to be an intervene of the Supreme Court. It would simply have been a fine, because nobody was hurt in the matter. And we're talking about, what he's saying, hush money that was in movies, that one hush money that was that was used from campaign funds. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the campaign funds is basically something that wouldn't carry this much controversy based on anything that happened with Donald Trump in this matter. They're making a simple case seem like it's like the greatest case of all. You know what I'm saying? But we see here, well, the Supreme Court, Donald Trump called on the Supreme Court Sunday to intervene. You know what I'm saying? After he was found guilty on all counts in the criminal charges. Why it matters. The nation highest court can only get involved if some element of the appeal relates to the Constitution or felony law, which doesn't appear to be the case. What he's saying, the sentencing for not having done any wrong will be conveniently or whatever for the fascists or something like that. Days before the Republican National Convention, he wrote on his true social media, it still doesn't lead to anything at all. It is too controversial in this manner over a simple case of using campaign funds, and he was not a president. So in other words, whatever the case may be, no one was hurt. campaign fund was used, and he had a marital affair. So did many other presidents. And many other presidents been caught doing some weirder shit. But at the same time, that's the case. So why would it be so played up? Talking about 34 counts after all this time from 2016 doesn't make sense. It still comes out to a witch hunt.